All right, well, by now, I'm sure you guys have all heard the news. Breaking, shocking news happened today. Michael Malone is out as the Denver Nuggets head coach. Shortly after that, maybe 10 minutes after we heard the news about Michael Malone, we heard that GM Calvin Booth is out as the GM of the Denver Nuggets. Michael Malone was technically fired, and we were informed that Calvin Booth will not have his contract extended. Semantics, same thing. Bottom line is Calvin Booth won't be in that building a single another day. They were both fired. They were both told to go away. And this is news that I may have been prepared to hear in the offseason, but I certainly was not prepared to hear right now. 3 games left in the season, about to go on a playoff run. I get it. It's been disappointing. I get it. People feel like there's fingers to be pointed all over the place right now, and they don't like the way this season has been winding down. But I got to admit, man, this news hit me hard today because I was expecting sweeping changes in the offseason if the Nuggets were to not get out of the first round, maybe not even out of the second round. But I certainly wasn't expecting it right now. Before I dive into any of that, first off, thank you to you guys that are watching right now. Second off, thank you to my title sponsor, Safeway. I could not do this podcast without Safeway. Safeway has been such a tremendous supporter of mine over the years, both in charitable efforts and in business efforts. And I'm grateful to be working with such an amazing grocery store. Listen, if you guys don't have the Safeway app on your phone, you're missing out. Skip the delivery service apps, download the Safeway app, order directly on your phone from Safeway. You're going to save a boatload of money. You're going to get points that you get to redeem for discounts. They can save your order. That's what I do. They save my order every week. I just add 2 or 3 new items, whatever I need based off the week. It takes me 5 minutes. I'm done. Before I blink my eye, that food is sitting on my doorstep. They've got amazing food. The fruit is cut fresh in store every single day, and with Easter right around the corner, you want to make sure that you get prepared with anything you need for Easter, whether that's that ham, you want to get your loved ones some flowers, maybe some stuffed animals. It's all at Safeway. Safeway, fresh foods, local flavors. Download that Safeway app today. And again, just a quick shout out to Ascend Barbershop, another sponsor of mine. I've been going over to Ascend Barbershop for a very long time now. Alfred Castro's my man. If I can't get in with Alfred, I go see Anthony. It's a luxury barbershop experience in the Parker area. I have not gone back. Nobody has cut my hair or my beard since I found Ascend Barbershop. So if you're in the Parker area, even if you're not in the Parker area, it's worth the drive. Check out Ascend Barbershop and let them know that your friend Tyler sent you on over. I promise you they're going to get you taken care of. All right. Here's the deal. We all, including myself, expected there to be sweeping changes in the offseason for the Nuggets. Even if they went on a bit of a run here, I expected sweeping changes in the offseason. Now, if you were to put me on the spot yesterday, ask me, what does that look like? What do sweeping changes look like? I probably would have told you GM Calvin Booth gets fired, and they do everything in their power to trade Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and maybe even Aaron Gordon. Sweeping changes, right? The only man that's safe on this team is Nikola Jokic. What I would not have told you as of yesterday is that the best coach in franchise history, the coach that just brought you a championship 2 years ago, a coach that, from my understanding, is well loved within that locker room, or at least he used to be. We'll talk more about that later because maybe something's changed. I damn sure wouldn't have thought that Michael Malone was going to get fired, even in the offseason. Now, let's talk about what just happened today. There's 3 games left to go in the regular season, and they're going to the playoffs. Now, worst case, they're a play-in team. Hopefully they win a couple games here. They can avoid that and not have to worry about it. They're in the midst of a run. Memphis did something crazy a week or 2 ago, and they had 8 games left in the season. They fired their head coach. And on our show, we're sitting there talking about it like, what are they doing? What is Memphis doing? How could they fire their head coach with 8 games left in the season, and they are also trying to make some noise? By the way, keep an eye on Memphis as a potential landing spot for Michael Malone. How are we going to feel about seeing Michael Malone coaching Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies? I could easily see it happening, very easily. Once free agency begins for head coaches, Michael Malone's not going to be unemployed for more than 24 hours. That man's going to find a job in a heartbeat, and that would be dangerous to see Michael Malone coaching the Memphis Grizzlies. I digress. What happened? That's the question, right? What happened? Well, it's one of two things. Number one, there's the possibility, and I'm not dismissing this at all, there's the possibility that the Denver Nuggets legitimately feel like firing Michael Malone with 3 games left gives them the best chance to go compete in the playoffs. Maybe. Josh Kroenke did an interview with our man Vic Lombardi over on Altitude, and Vic asked him, what are your expectations for this team for the remainder of the season? Josh was a little bit guarded, a little bit calculated in his statement. He didn't say anything about winning a championship. He didn't say anything about going on a run. You know what Josh Kroenke said? I expect these guys to go out and compete. And I expect these guys to go out and have some fun. Okay? Nowhere in that statement did I hear anything about, firing Michael Malone gives us the best chance to go compete and win another championship this year. Not waste a year of the Nikola Jokic window. D-Mac and I debated this all day long on our show. PhD 12-3 on Altitude 92.5. D-Mac was of the opinion that they did this right now with 3 games left because it's going to give them a strategic advantage moving into the playoffs. It gives them the best chance to go compete. And I'm like, how? What's going to change? David Adelman, who's now taking over as head coach of the Nuggets, he's very well respected, and he's got a very bright future in front of him. Are the bench problems changing? Is Jamal Murray's health status going to change? Is Michael Porter Jr. going to learn how to play defense? Is Aaron Gordon going to be healthy enough to actually drive in the paint and play like the player that he used to be? I mean, okay, so maybe you could change up some minutes with Russell Westbrook, with Jalen Pickett here and there, but we're talking about semantics. We're talking about small things. My opinion, there was a straw that broke the camel's back. What does that mean? Look, I'm not telling you that Michael Malone had some sort of meeting with Stan Kroenke and Josh Kroenke, and he told them to F off. I'm not telling you that there was some blow up. I'm not telling you that Michael Malone did something stupid. But there was a straw that broke the camel's back because this just doesn't make sense. You cannot convince me that firing Michael Malone with 3 games left gives this team a better chance to go win. In the final 10 seconds of the show, D-Mac asked me today, are the Denver Nuggets a better basketball team today after firing Michael Malone? And I said, hell no. Michael Malone's a great basketball coach. Now, maybe he's lost that locker room, and maybe there are reasons that I'm unaware of that Michael Malone had to go. But you can't convince me that the Denver Nuggets are going to become more sound. They're going to become more disciplined. They're going to play better defense, that the bench is going to get better, that Russell Westbrook is going to solve his turnover problems simply by firing Michael Malone with 3 games left. So I give a hard pass, a hell no, that the Nuggets are going to be a better basketball team. Now, we'll find out. We'll find out if these guys hated Michael Malone. I find that hard to believe, but a lot of people do believe that. A lot of people believe that these players flat out were fed up with Michael Malone. They were sick of the message, had gotten stale, and they just didn't like the man anymore. I find that so hard to believe. I like Michael Malone. I like the dude. I like the coach. But we will know. I mean, shoot, it hasn't been hard to see. There's been a lack of effort out there. And Josh Kroenke legitimately said the one thing that he wants from these guys is to try. He wants to see good effort out there. Try. Care about your job. if we go out there against Sacramento on Friday night and you see these guys playing carefree, you see a joy, you see an infectious smile that's out there, okay, maybe you could convince me that they just hated Michael Malone. Let's hope they're not smoking cigars in the locker room like the Raiders did after they fired Josh McDaniels. They brought in Antonio Pierce and they won a football game. We see them smoking cigars. We know that they hated Michael Malone. We're not going to see them smoking cigars. But you might be able to see a contagious energy. You might be able to see an infectious smile. You might be able to see a joy. I'll be surprised if that's what we see. I will. Because in my opinion, I don't think those guys hate Michael Malone. In my opinion, there was a straw that broke the camel's back. Something happened. What was that something? This is utter speculation. Let's make that very, very clear. I know nothing. I am purely speculating right now, so nobody go out there and say Tyler Polumbus said this. It's not a report. This is pure speculation. My opinion, Josh and Stan Kroenke were tired of being that parent in the car that kept telling the kids to knock it off. Hey, if you fight one more time, I'm turning this car around. Well, maybe they got good for a minute or two. They started fighting again. You give them another chance. No, I mean it this time. You guys keep fighting. You guys keep yelling at each other. One more time, I'm turning this car around. We're not going to Elitch's. We're not going to Waterworld. We're going home. And they turned that car around. What I think happened is that they got sick and tired of Calvin Booth and Michael Malone bickering. There's clearly a divide between Michael Malone and Calvin Booth. It's no secret. There's reports all over the place. There's been reports since the beginning of the season that these two guys were just not on the same page. Calvin Booth desperately wanted Michael Malone to start playing younger players. He desperately wanted Michael Malone to play specifically Jalen Pickett over Russell Westbrook. Now, we could debate whether Michael Malone should have actually done that or not, and maybe that's a fair argument, but Michael Malone likes his vets. Michael Malone does not like, or trust, I should say, his younger players. Ironically, we did see Jalen Pickett start the other night, and Russell Westbrook came off the bench. Ironically, we did see Russ on the bench at the end of the game. So maybe Michael Malone was starting to come around on that. But these two guys have been bickering, and they've been fighting, and they have not been on the same page, and I think it goes all the way back to the offseason. I think it goes all the way back to who wanted to do what with Jamal Murray. If I had to guess, Michael Malone was fighting hard for Jamal Murray to get that new contract, and Calvin Booth was being pretty reserved. Feels like Calvin Booth might have been right on that argument. So this isn't about who's right, who's wrong. I think they've both got sins here. I think they've both got flaws. I think they both have put this team in a bad situation here. That doesn't mean that I think necessarily Michael Malone should have been fired with 3 games left, but they've got flaws. And what I really think happened is that these guys probably weren't even fighting anymore. They probably just weren't even talking. They probably just weren't even communicating. That's probably how toxic, how bad that relationship had got between the GM Calvin Booth and the head coach Michael Malone. And yet, even when you're not talking, things get around, don't they? Michael Malone says something to David Adelman. David Adelman says something to the trainer. The trainer says something to Calvin Booth. Calvin Booth says something to the strength coach. The strength coach says something to the trainer. The trainer says something to David Adelman. That gets back to Michael Malone. And so on and so forth, and so we go. And this got back, in my opinion, pure speculation, to Stan and Josh Kroenke, and they're like, enough. I warned you guys. I told you guys I'm turning this freaking car around, and you guys don't get to coach or be the GM of this team anymore if you can't get on the same page. At the very least, if you can't get on the same page, stop the infighting, stop the bickering. We're about to go on a playoff run. We got to get on the same page here, boys. And eventually that probably gets upstairs. And Stan Kroenke says, you know what? I'm not getting rid of one of you. I'm getting rid of both of you. You both pissed me off. I'm ticked off at both of you right now. Neither one of you are getting the job done right now. The message has apparently gotten stale. Fingers are getting pointed. Russell Westbrook is being a jerk after the game the other day when he talks to the media because somebody reported him that he wasn't talking to the media after games. So the NBA forced him to actually talk to the media. He's being a turd. He says he doesn't know if his players are motivated to try to win or not. Look, it's not been good. I'm not delusional here. The state of the Denver Nuggets has been bad, and that's why I expected sweeping changes in the offseason. Just didn't expect it to happen now. There's another angle on this that, in pro sports, you owe nothing to anybody. The only thing you owe anything to is to the fans and probably to Nikola Jokic. Outside of that, you really don't owe anything to anybody. But I could make the argument that the best coach in franchise history, and for whatever reason, people wanted to debate that on the show today, whether Michael Malone is the best coach in franchise history, whether it was Karl Malone or whatever. And I'm like, how is this even debatable? You play this game for one reason, to win championships. That's why you play the game. There's only one coach in the history of this franchise that has done that has accomplished that. That's Michael Malone. He's been here for a decade. He's got the wins. He's got the championship. Michael Malone is the best coach in the history of the Denver Nuggets. You want to fight me on it? Fine, we can fight on it. I apologize that I haven't necessarily commented on some of your comments that have been rolling in. I usually do that. Tonight I'm just in monologue mode. But keep sending them in. You'll always see your comments pop up on the screen. And 9 out of 10 times I usually do interact with you. Tonight I'm just in monologue mode and I'm just rolling. I'll try to get to him that in the show. Did they owe anything to Michael Malone? Did they do Michael Malone dirty? I could make a case that you could have given Michael Malone the respect of seeing what happens in the playoffs and then firing him like you fire any other normal coach. The reality is you fire him right now, you're throwing 2 middle fingers up in the air. That's what you're doing. You're putting 2 middle fingers up, one's for Michael Malone, one's for Calvin Booth. You're saying F off. I'm done with you guys. They put out a very respectful statement about those 2 guys, especially about Michael Malone, and I do believe that they've got nothing but respect in the big picture, nothing but gratitude in the big picture for Michael Malone. But you did fire him with 3 games left. I think Michael Malone might have deserved the right to get fired in the offseason. I think Michael Malone might have deserved the right to see what the hell happens in the playoffs. We're all assuming they're going to be one and done. We're all assuming that things are falling apart. The wheels have fallen off the car. You never freaking know. You do have Nikola Jokic on that team. What if you get Jamal Murray back healthy? What if your starting 5 actually can all play at the same time? But I say that they could have given him that respect. And at the end of the day, they don't owe anybody anything. They don't even owe Michael Malone anything. The only thing they owe anything to is to the fans and probably to Nikola Jokic. And to D-Mac's point that this feels, to him, it feels like they're doing this because it gives them the best strategic advantage, competitive advantage to win the remaining games. Well, maybe there's a case to be had there. They do respect Michael Malone. They just really feel like this is the best case they've got. This is the best opportunity they've got. And this is them honoring their fans by saying enough's enough. We're getting rid of it. We're done. We're moving forward in a different direction with David Adelman. He gives us our best chance in the playoffs. Here's another tough reality. The best coach in Denver Nuggets history, the only coach in Denver Nuggets history to bring a franchise or to bring a title to this city, is going to have bitter, extremely bitter feelings about this franchise for a very long time. And that kind of sucks. You know, in coaching, you either get promoted or you get fired. So Michael Malone is far from the first. He won't be the last. You get promoted or you get fired, even when you win championships. He's definitely not the first coach to get fired 2 seasons after winning a championship. There's coaches that have been fired 1 season after winning a championship. But the reality is Michael Malone's going to feel like he got done dirty. And you think back about what happened with Mike Shanahan and the Denver Broncos. It took over a decade to get Mike Shanahan back in that building. Maybe it was 12, 13 years. Eventually, he was finally honored at a game. Eventually, he came to what I'm aware of, a singular training camp practice. Maybe he's been to more, I'm just not aware of it. Mike Shanahan has barely crossed that bridge of trying to repair relationships with the Denver Broncos. He was done dirty. He knows it. He feels it. He can't ever let go of it. That's how Michael Malone's going to be. And that kind of sucks. Look, one day Michael Malone is going to go up in the banners, up at the rafters, with a banner, and it's going to have his name on it, and it's going to have all of his wins, and he deserves that. But it kind of sucks, man, that it had to go down like this. Look, I don't doubt Stan and Josh Kroenke. Matter of fact, they're my boss. In the big picture, they're the biggest boss I got. I've never met them. I work for Altitude. So I'm not calling them out. Believe me, I think they've got their reasons. And I'm not privy to everything that's going on behind the scenes. The only knowledge I have is really the same knowledge that you have as a fan. And I'm processing this information in real time. And with the limited knowledge I have, it feels like, really? We're going to get better by firing Michael Malone right now? A lot of you are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. I get it, man. We're not all going to be on the same page with this thing. I just want to know what happened. I want to know what the straw was that broke the camel's back. So I think there had to be something. Why now? Why not 2 weeks ago? Why not at the All-Star break? Why not after the season? What happened now? Look, the truth's going to come out. It always does. It usually takes 8-10 months before the truth really comes out and Sean Payton has got a double latte and he starts talking about the past. For now, the narrative from the Denver Nuggets is we're just grateful to Michael Malone for everything he's done. Eventually, somebody's going to talk. Eventually, the real reasons are going to come out. And what you're going to read about, the only thing you're going to read about is the division between Michael Malone and Calvin Booth. These two guys just couldn't get on the same frickin' page. And I think it goes all the way back to Jamal Murray and his contract. And I wonder, again, no knowledge here, I just wonder, did Stan and Josh have a strong stance on what they should do with Jamal Murray? Was it that they should not have given him the contract? Was it that they should have given him the contract? Did they pick a side in that battle early on? There's reports that came out today that earlier in the season, Calvin Booth and the Denver Nuggets were on the 1 yard line of a contract extension. And Calvin Booth didn't like the terms of it, so he walked away from the deal. And now here we are. Calvin Booth will not have his contract extended. Michael Malone has been fired. And I don't know about you guys. It's a weird day. It's just a weird, weird day. I'm so grateful to Michael Malone and everything he's done for this city. I'm bummed out that this iteration of the Denver Nuggets is over. No matter what happens this season, they're going to try to move on from very significant players. Probably Jamal Murray, probably Michael Porter Jr., probably Aaron Gordon. I don't think it's going to be that easy because Jamal Murray's contract's not going to be easy to trade. Michael Porter Jr.'s never been easy to trade because he's got serious health issues. He can't play defense, and he's inconsistent. I don't even know what you're going to get for all those guys. But when the head coach gets fired, here's what I know. Everyone in that building gets put on notice. Nobody is secure. The training staff, the strength staff, the logistics folks, and damn sure the players. So expect more and more change as this season wraps up. I guess to be determined what's going to happen the rest of the year here. To be determined, do they win the next 3 games? Do they end up in the play-in game? Do they go one and done? Does David Adelman have a legitimate shot at this job? Maybe. Maybe he does. All I know is this was shocking news that I did not freaking expect. Certainly not now. I could have expected it in a couple weeks when the season was wrapped up, but I damn sure did not expect it now. I appreciate you guys watching Mount Polumbus Speaks here. Again, thank you to my title sponsor, Safeway. Make sure you download the Safeway app and skip the delivery service apps. Easter's right around the corner. Get prepared now with Safeway. Fresh foods, local flavors. And thank you to Ascend Barbershop in the Parker area. If you're looking for a luxury barber experience, make sure you go check out Ascend Barbershop. Alfred Castro is my man. Let him know that Tyler sent you on over. I promise you they're going to get you taken care of. I promise you it's going to be the best beard trim and haircut of your entire life. Okay, if you guys have not subscribed to Mount Polumbus Speaks, I know the majority of you guys watch on Twitter. Please take 10 seconds out of your day. Hit that link in my bio on Twitter. Go on over to YouTube and hit subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel over there. And if you just like what I do and you want to support me, it would be very helpful if you'd go over to YouTube, if you would like on this video and you would comment on this video. A few comments does wonders for the algorithm, and know that I'd be eternally grateful to you. So if you're a major Mount Polumbus Speaks supporter and